Hi, Pat the Podcast Editor here. What's the biggest piece of advice you wish you'd heard sooner? Now, don't worry, nobody's perfect. And today, Dan and Lloyd are talking about some of the advice they wish they'd had when starting out, and more importantly, what you can learn from it.
To grow, you have to make mistakes and you have to learn from them. But it's quicker to learn from other people's mistakes and not have to make them yourself to get to that point.
Now, nobody likes thinking they're getting everything wrong, but it gets a lot easier when you realise you're not the only one out there that doesn't know everything.
Like no one's got this magic fountain of knowledge that no one else has. We're all trying to do the best job, and even when you see someone like Aaron Shepherd, they're not pretending they know everything. They're saying, we're really good at this, we put loads of effort in, we're knowledgeable and we're doing a great job, but we don't know everything, we're learning every day. And I think that is really key. You don't know what you don't know, so be open to it and don't be embarrassed.
So, what can you learn from the advice Dan and Lloyd wish they'd had? Stay tuned to find out. Just remember, the boys have made these mistakes so that with a little luck, you won't have to.
Again, don't listen to it all because take everything we say with a pinch of
Yeah,
salt.
especially the stuff Dan says. Like a big pinch of salt, like with Dan. Like you want it to be too salty to eat.
Just listen to Lloyd's fluffy, like, oh, be a good person. Oh, yeah.
Empathy. Oh, love everybody.
Right, let's crack on. This is episode 57 of the Business Anchors podcast.
We're just a couple of business anchors. Welcome to the Business Anchors podcast. This jingle is slightly too long. This jingle is slightly too long.
Why would anyone give a shit about business advice we wish we had?
Because most people want to grow their business faster, and to do that, to grow, you have to make mistakes and you have to learn from them. But it's quicker to learn from other people's mistakes and not have to make them yourself to get to that point.
That makes
I think it's
sense.
always good for learning from failure, but and you will do it anyway. But if other people can do it, you can learn that lesson and not have to go through that process that takes time. You can grow your business quicker.
I still think the lesson impacts you more if you make the mistake, though.
Potentially.
Do you know what I mean? Because that emotional, this bad thing happened, and then you're like, I don't want that to happen again.
Yeah. But that lesson might take 6 months to learn. So I suppose even if you get 80% of the way and you don't do it, I think it's effective.
So we're about to talk about the business advice we wish we had. So everyone listening should listen to all of this advice and do it, right?
I mean, everyone should listen to it and tell their friends and family about this great podcast. But I think our advice won't be right for everyone. Definitely not. Everyone's different. Also, and it's one of my points later, we don't know what we don't know. So Dan and I are in a position where we have grown our business over the last 5 or 6 years and have a level of success and still have a long way to go. So we might look back on this in 5 years, 2 years,
what on earth
10
are we
years,
talking about?
and think, well, three of those points
Are terrible.
make no sense and are terrible. So I think we've all got to be open to that. I think people listening to this have got to be open. Open to thinking you don't know everything, even if you think you do. And we've definitely got to be aware of that as well.
I think the important thing that I'm always I'm communicating now when giving advice is take everything I say and anyone else you listen to with a pinch of salt, because they're only advising you based on their experiences or based on some kind of reason that's going to benefit them.
Also,
if they're not a nice person.
Everyone has strengths and weaknesses. So a lot of people look up to Gary Vaynerchuk. We've spoken about him before on the podcast. But I look at what he says, and there's loads of really good stuff. And some of the stuff he says, I think that's a weakness of his.
Hustle.
He doesn't realise that point actually doesn't make much sense for most people. But 90% of what he says does. And I think, we all need to be aware of that. But I think we're going to give some great advice. I've seen Dan's notes and I've written my own for this podcast, and I think it's going to be good.
So, do you want to kick things off, Lloyd? I haven't seen what your advice is.
Number one.
Hit
me. Number one. All right, it sounds a bit fluffy, but it's not. All right.
Oh no,
there's some other really actionable stuff.
Oh yeah.
But I think this is really important. So, number one rule for growing your business quicker, and I wish I had, and rule for life: empathy.
Oh, nice.
Okay. I spoke about this a couple of episodes, but you need to understand what everyone you're dealing with really wants and what makes them tick and what is success to them, what makes them happy, what what it means you're going to get the most out of them. So this could be suppliers, this could be clients. In a client, you may have 12 people that you deal with. So that's 12 people you need to try and understand and work out how they tick. Employees, freelancers, the cleaner, the window cleaner, the guy next
Business
to your
partners.
office that makes weird noises when you're trying to record a podcast, and you need to know what might make him stop turning his really loud fan on.
That's
And
literally us.
Yeah, that's us. I think having empathy, being able to put yourself in other people's positions and understanding what's important to them, means your relationships in business are so much stronger, so much more useful, and I think it's massive and people don't talk about it.
That's a really good point. So how can you get more empathetic? I'm just trying to think like how to actually apply this. You saying it sounds really good.
I suppose the first way I now do this with everything, but the first thing, I think, look at any problems you have with relationships. So our idea, guy next door with loud fan is a problem. So you might have supplier that keeps delivering stuff late. So look at your relationship with that person or those people and put yourself in their shoes. So guy next door with a fan on, he's thinking, need the fan on to do my job. Need to do my job to earn money. Need to earn money to feed my family. My family need food to survive. Basically, I need this loud fan on so you can't record your podcast so my children won't starve. So if you... Because we could just think, oh, bloody annoying guy, why can't he just stop his fan?
Yeah.
He can't work without it. So I think once you understand that, the way you have conversations saying, look, I know you need to do that to do your job. Is there any half an hour period where you're having a break or something, and know that it's completely reasonable for him to have that fan on?
I can tell I'm less empathetic than you because I think, bloody guy with his fan on. And you're always like, no, let's just see if there's
and it's not, I know sometimes you say with things like this about me, oh, you're all being nice to everyone. But I think you give me too much credit, because this is to...
selfish.
Yeah. In reality, this is to improve our business. We need to make sure we know how to speak to that guy next door to get what we want, to grow our business more effectively, so that less of these podcasts have this in the background.
Great point.
Thank you. What's
Love
your
it.
first one? Is it as good?
Less fluffy, more practical.
Yeah, okay, cool. We need some of that.
Firstly, and this is just from experience, it's going to take you way longer than you think to get to where you want to get to.
Mm-hmm.
I remember when I was 13 at my mate's house, and I was like a cocky little shit, basically. And I was like, yeah, I'm going to be a millionaire by the time I'm 20, and I'm going to do this and that. And then got to 20, and I was just getting drunk at uni, not achieved anything.
You ate lots of Nando's chickens, though.
I ate lots of Nando's
I was impressed with how much chicken you
I did.
ate.
That was like a few times a week.
Mm.
But yeah, I think it, and now from even where we are now with our business, we've got, like you said, a level of success, but it's taken ages to get here. And it's not, and I think the thing that sort of makes you not think in the right way is you see these unicorns, you see Facebook, or like in our case, Social Chain, one of the most successful social media agencies out there. They just like one day they're 2 people, the next day they're 500 people, and they're turning over millions. They're the unicorns. Don't compare yourselves to those people, because the normal businesses like us, it takes a lot of hard work and a lot of effort over a long period of time consistently to get to where you want to get to. So manage your own expectations, I think. That's my kind of...
It takes longer than you probably will think, and that's okay.
Yeah.
Nice
Summary, Lloyd. What's your... hit me with your next one.
Next one is...
Is it fluffy or is it practical?
Practical, this one.
Okay, cool.
Very practical, like the opposite of the other one. Okay. Almost boring, it's so practical. It's getting to know your finances, the financial side, ASAP, or find someone that does. So something that's had a huge effect on our business is being able to accurately forecast our profits and cash in the business for the next 3 to 6 months. Now that might sound like, oh, great, what a great thing. That just sounds good. But what does it actually, why does that help you? It means that there's 5 months ahead. I can see and I now know that it's extremely accurate because we've done it for so long, that we are going to have £10,000 that we can invest in some renovation work that's going to help us build our studio. That's it's weird because I used an example that's almost true, but I got all the dates and figures wrong. But if you don't know that and you're not confident in how you can accurately forecast future cash in the business and future profit, everything that you choose to invest in to help your business is a risk. That includes employing people, that includes giving people pay rises, that includes investing in gear, changing your property to a place with higher rent but you can earn loads more money. And it also reduces stress. Just for a business owner, it may be like, oh, business growth is so much better, you can invest. But actually, knowing that your business is just fine for the next 6 months financially and having no doubt means it's very stressful.
Do you know how I can tell that is an important point?
No.
Because in our monthly management meetings, you're way less stressed because you've got all the data there to just say, yep, this is what's happening, and present it. And you're not like, oh, what's going on? Even
when we're forecasting a loss sometimes.
Yeah.
There's been times where we're forecasting losses for the next 3 months and it's weirdly stress-free. It's like, yeah, it's fine. The 3 months after that, forecasting a big profit. And I think previously, if I wasn't that confident in the finances, I'd be looking at the next couple of months, not even having the figures, looking like, well, looks like we're spending a lot and not much is coming in, and I'd just be shitting my pants. So, yeah. Next point, then.
My next one is, don't focus on building a business to make money. Focus on building something that you enjoy and that you love, and the byproduct could be a successful business. And I know that sounds a bit fluffy, but my point is, like, and it reminds me when I speak to some of my friends randomly have business ideas. They're like, oh, I'm going to like start this thing. I thought of this app idea. And I'm like, that's nothing that you care about or you like or you enjoy or you're even interested in. And from experience, the amount of effort and brain power and, you know, when we go, we try and, I personally I'm constantly thinking about the business. And I know you message me at like 9 p.m. at night, 10 p.m. at night, sometimes saying, oh, this is the thing for the podcast. You don't kind of switch off. So there's a huge amount of brain power and effort that needs to go into a business to make it successful. And if you're just doing it to make money and it's not something you're actually passionate about or you like, then it's going to be very difficult to put that brain power and that effort in to make it work.
To come back at you, do you love marketing?
I tell you what, I love my role in this company.
Okay, cool.
Which is, I love us producing really good content, putting it out to the world, and then engaging with people who are saying, this is great, and then having really interesting conversations with people about that.
Yeah.
And I also love sales and getting deals and converting new clients and doing a great job for our clients. All of that stuff I absolutely love. I don't like, I love marketing, but everything involved in building this business in terms of my side of the business, like my sales and marketing side. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Cool.
I've got 2 points I'm going to put together.
Go on.
Don't get stressed. So these are both more easily said than done. I understand that, but if you work on them, it really helps. Don't get stressed about what you can't control because it adds absolutely no value. And the other side of it, don't blame other people for what you can control. I see a lot of this in business as well, and I've seen it in myself in the past. Sometimes the team may tell me something and I think, oh, that's not good enough. Like, I want us to be working at a higher level than that. And it would be easy to shoot the messenger, and I'd say I'm still guilty of this at some points initially. Easy to shoot the messenger and think, well, that's not good enough. You're working on this and that's not right. When in reality, I could have made decisions and put processes in place to mean that person or that team of people wouldn't have this problem. So it'd be silly to blame them. You know, you can. I mean, there's no point putting blame on people, but you can think actually responsibility shared. But so both ways, I think that's important.
I think that shows your self-awareness.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. But I need to work on that.
Yeah.
These kind of episodes are almost like therapy and advice for ourselves sometimes. Yeah. A lot of this is like, I've realised this 2 hours ago. This is advice that I need to have.
Yeah. I've got a simple one next. Hire people you like.
Hire people you like. See, I think that will be controversial for some people. Some people think, well, no, that's not important. You need to hire the best people for the job.
Okay. Sorry. Let me rephrase that. Hire people that will be good at the job and that you like.
Oh, okay, good. Because I was just about to hire our mum.
Yeah, no, that won't work out. But yeah, I think you spend so much time. You know, we're always joking about we literally spend all of our lives together because we work with each other, and you know, we spend lives with our team, most of our life with our team, and you want to enjoy that. And if there's someone there that you don't like but they're good at a job, it's gonna make you have a shit time.
Yeah.
So.
Nice.
What's your next one?
If you do what everyone else does, you'll get what everyone else gets. I think this is something that links to something I talk about quite a lot, which is don't. So for us, it would be like, don't try and beat or compare ourselves with the marketing agencies in Kent. If our goals are more than that, or we want to achieve different things, there's no point thinking, right, what we want to do, we want to create the best videos from any marketing agency in Kent. It's like, no, okay, what sort of video is this? Oh, it's a comedy thing. Right, we want to aim to be like, this is the best comedy script in the world ever. Obviously, we're not going to hit that. But if we're aiming for that,
Oh, Lloyd, don't piece
it means... Well, yeah, I'm not quite that good. But if you're aiming for that, you might get into the top 2% of business comedy videos in the world rather than the top 50%.
Yeah.
That is my point.
10x your goals.
Don't 10x your goals. But don't... Yeah. It annoys me because sometimes, and we get this very little in our business because people get our ethos and what we're trying to achieve, and that we're trying to achieve really good things. But I think in a lot of other businesses and our clients, I sometimes see like, yeah, but, you know, talking about a competitor, yeah, but they've only got 2 Facebook ads live and they're just static images. Like, so if we have 4, it's fine. It's like, no, they're doing a terrible job. Don't just try and do a bit less bad, bad than bit
we really
better.
sound like we know what we're doing.
Yeah, a bit better.
Do stuff a bit less bad.
I've just forgot the word better. Yeah, that's my point.
Cool. I really like that.
Good. Got any more?
I've got another one, and I've got a bit of a story.
Okay.
So my next point is, and I feel like this should be like on an Instagram quote, do the things that most people aren't willing to do. And I've got an example of that. So when I worked at Enterprise, I've spoken about this in other episodes.
Sorry. I just thought of something that's not appropriate for this podcast to say.
Okay, that was why I say that comment.
Yeah, okay.
Anyway.
You said, do things that people aren't willing to do. And I thought, put a pineapple up your bum?
Don't do that.
Okay.
So, story time.
Sorry
do
about
things that other people aren't willing to do.
I'm adding very little value.
So what I mean by that is, when I used to work at Enterprise, there was this thing called Elite Club where you're basically measured on upselling to customers, and there's a leaderboard in the whole area you work in, and the people that are at the top of the leaderboard do something cool at the end of the month, like go on a cool all paid for trip to London and drinks and food and all that. So I went on to Elite Club a fair amount of times, but not every month. And every time I went, there was this guy there.
Mm-hmm.
And I got chatting to him, and I was working in Crawley at the time. It was really interesting because he was from Ramsgate. I don't know if I've ever told you this. He was from Ramsgate.
That's near where we are, by the way.
That's near where we are. And I was like, oh, wow, this is so cool. And every time I went, he was there. And I was like, do you hit every single Elite Club?
You are elite.
Yeah. And he's like, yeah, every month I hit it. I'm like, how? And he said a number of things, but one of the main things he said was, when I started in the company, I emailed the general manager of Enterprise, like a big cheese at Enterprise, and I said, will you be my mentor? And he was his mentor, and he just had him as his mentor from when he started and told him everything he needed to do to hit Elite Club every month. And I was like, I wish I would have thought of that. And also that helped him rise up in the company because no one else had ever emailed the general manager of Enterprise and said, will you be my mentor?
Until you did the day after. I went, you've been speaking to Steve, haven't you?
Yeah. But yeah, it just made me like that. It just made me think that the people that progress fastest are doing the things that others aren't willing to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
Give me your next one.
Employ people that are better than you. I see a lot of small businesses where the owner refuses to hire anyone that knows more than them in any area. And I think it's a bit of a... I think it's hard sometimes. When we first hired people to do a video and stuff that were better than me, it's a bit of an ego hit. Because you think, oh, I've been doing this. This is how I've been doing it.
Yeah.
I don't know any better. And then someone comes in that you've hired, and you don't know very well yet, and they tell you all the things that you've been doing wrong. And it's I understand the challenge, but I see this limiting a lot of small businesses.
The ego thing.
They hire lots of like assistants for them and people below them that aren't higher skilled, but just kind of get little jobs done.
Yeah.
And that's something I will happily admit that everyone in our team is better than me at something. Some of them are better than me at 90% of what I know, and some of them are better at 10% of what I know. But everyone's better at me and us at something, and that just means you can do a far better job, and you've got a far better business as a whole.
I really think that's helped us grow.
Yeah.
Like looking at the key pillars that have helped us grow. If it was just me and you trying to make videos without all this extra skill that's come into the business and experience, then we would be nowhere near where we are now.
Definitely. So I think that's really important. And I think I see it as... So a couple of people in this office call me boss sometimes. I don't think they know that I hate it. But I see like bosses and like leaders differently, if you know what I mean. Like I think bosses hire people below them and are like, yeah, I'm the best. Yeah. And then like leaders happily are like, you are all better than me, and I'll try and help to organise this to make it a success. But
how do you overcome that ego trip? Just first time it happened,
just do it once and then realise that in the end it's better, and then go, oh, do that more. I think it's you've got to feel confident in yourself. I think some people have low self-esteem and low confidence.
They need to be better.
So making sure you go into a room with someone that's better than you every day at something, that's a big hit to them because they're already low on confidence. And you could probably go really deep in this whole psychologically, but
please don't.
No, I won't. But I think that's the thing. But I would suggest even to those people that you're low on confidence, so you don't want that to happen. Do it once, then look back 6 months and go, God, that was really good when we hired Lauren, Barney, Lucas, Pat, Ellie, Taylor. Oh God, I'm forgetting people's names, and now Ida.
First one.
Josh.
I think it's really important also to get some kind of mentor, and we've never had an official mentor, but I think Dad has really been our sort of mentor, hasn't he? And his, like we said before, someone who's got more experience, who's made those mistakes, who can help you. Like for example, when we did a whole episode about pricing in business the other week.
Yeah.
That actually, looking at the data, quite a lot of people liked because it was one of our most downloaded podcasts in a while.
Good.
And when we started out, we had no idea what to charge. And from his experience as a consultant, he advised us based on the market and that kind of thing. So having someone who's been there, done it, got the T-shirt, can help fast track your.
Can I also put a caveat in there?
No.
See you next week.
Go
on. Don't take advice and have a mentor that's not on the journey that you're trying to be heading. So don't get me wrong, you don't need to be like, well, my only mentor can be Richard Branson because he's a great businessman. Just someone that's further along the journey from you and is on the way. And you might have to, hopefully one day you get to that level and you have to find a mentor that's done even more than that.
And also don't listen to everything they say because like even again thinking of Dad, some of the advice he gave us, we were like, thanks for that, but we're not listening to it. Yeah. But a lot of things were like, that's amazing, thank you so much.
We had lots of advice that wouldn't have made sense for this business and how we've grown this business, and I'm glad we didn't take it. But being, listening to all of it and then working out sometimes and being honest and saying, we don't think that's quite right for us, so we're going to try it this way, and we'll soon know if you were right.
Yeah.
I think that's important.
I'm just going to add one more to that point, which is my next one, which is listen to Lloyd more. Which is kind of
great advice for everyone.
Which is kind of or listen to your business partner more if you trust them, because I think a lot of the time early on, I didn't listen to you because we had very opposing views, and I thought you're wrong, I'm right. Whereas through maturing as a person and experience, now I realise that you are right about a lot of things, and it's important to listen to that. You're also wrong about things as well, by the way.
I know.
But we both listen to each other more, I think, rather than sort of bashing heads and no, I'm right. It's like, oh, what's your opinion? What's my opinion? Let's discuss this.
That leads into my final point
go on.
really well, and that's that you don't know what you don't know, and be open to that. So rather than me and Dan thinking each other are wrong, in reality, there's gaps in our knowledge and our experience that make us think the other person might be wrong, but it's just we haven't had the same knowledge and experience, so we don't know yet. And I think too many people in business and people like us where we've achieved a level of success, and like we said, still a huge amount to learn, long way to go. People get to that a little bit of success and think they know everything. And I think being open to the fact you definitely don't. And I saw a video yesterday from Aaron Shepherd from the Goat Agency. Was it Aaron Shepherd? I think it was. Sorry if it wasn't Aaron. And there was something about basically like everyone's winging it. It's kind of like no one's got this magic fountain of knowledge that no one else has. We're all trying to do the best job. And even when you see someone like Aaron Shepherd and Harry Hugo and third goat
Nick.
Sorry, Nick.
They're the three founders of the Goat Agency,
hundreds of employees or whatever, global. They're not pretending they know everything. They're saying, we're really good at this. We put loads of effort in. We're knowledgeable and we're doing a great job, but we don't know everything. We're learning every day. And I think that is really key. You don't know what you don't know, so be open to it and don't be embarrassed. Like, I didn't know that yesterday, so I'm not going to admit to the world that I've improved and I can learn.
How do you apply that though? Like, is that so easy to say?
Be open-minded in everything.
Be open-minded, I guess. Just try and always question if someone's saying, I'm not sure about what you're saying, don't be like, get your guard up and say, no, I'm right.
Yeah.
Think, okay, why do you think that? And ask them.
Exactly. Today, if Lauren comes in and says, I think every video we put on Instagram should be 3.5 seconds long, don't think you can even do that. Rather than going, that's absolutely ridiculous, Lauren. At least being open-minded enough to say, all right, why do you think that?
Yeah.
And she might have read this article that said, if you do it 3.5 seconds long, there's a thing in the algorithm where it shows everyone in the world your video.
Yeah.
Right? Oh, I didn't know that. That does make sense.
Yeah.
Or she'll just go, oh, I don't know, just thought it'd be a good idea. Then you'll go, it's not. Yeah. So being open, at least asking questions and not shutting stuff down or people down.
Yeah.
Because a lot of people know a lot of stuff you don't.
I think that's a really good final point to end the episode.
Good.
I've really enjoyed that. I hope listeners, I hope you found some of that useful. Again, don't listen to it all because take everything we say with a pinch of salt.
Especially the stuff Dan says. Like a big pinch of salt, like with Dan. Like you want it to be too salty to eat.
Just listen to Lloyd's fluffy, like, oh, be a good person. Oh yeah.
Empathy. Oh, love everybody.
God, imagine if you were running the business on your own. What a failure that would be.
But you learn from failures.
Thanks for listening, everyone, and we'll see you in your ears next week.
See you in your ears next week.